I did it on purpose. And I'm making baked potatoes right now. Can you hear that? I'm sorry if there's background noise.
It's all good. So what are your thoughts?
Right?
Why would we hear baked potatoes cooking?
Well, because I didn't rip a big enough piece of foil to line the pan.
Okay.
And now I'm out of foil. God damn it. Look what you guys made me do. How the fuck am I supposed to make these baked potatoes? It's going to stick to the pan?
That should be the name of our podcast. Look at what you made me do.
Hello, I'm Robert Stack, and you are listening to the Asscasters podcast.
Episode 15. Fall is here. Thanks for joining us. We are going to be talking about college football, NFL, hockey, maybe some other things today. Today you're joined by two of the Asscasters. You get me, Andy, today. Also, TJ is here. We're gonna
always here.
He is starting to get in the Cal Ripken territory. Most consecutive podcast played. So we're gonna walk you through things. We'll jump right into the different topics of the day. We may test fate and also test technology by giving one of the other Asscasters Schawe/Schwammy. We were going to talk to him. I believe the last we spoke with him, he is on a beach and not one that's currently being compromised by Hurricane Ian. So we will see if we can connect with him to get his thoughts on things. No Dirty Carl today, an excuse about work, totally unacceptable. We will talk shit on you, Carlos.
You fucking asshole.
So as far as the Asscasters that are here, again, it's myself, Andy, and TJ, brought to you by 3chai.com. Please reach out to 3Chai for your needs, Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10 related. Also just got word from some of the folks that make purchases off that website that they have got a really, really good deal. They are wholesaling something called concentrates, which other than me thinking and orange juice, I have no idea what the hell that means.
I'm so proud of you. Like that was nice. Yeah, they have great concentrates, guys. They have a really good deal. What I go with, they have a 28 grams for like $149. And if you know anything about Delta 8, that is like the sweetest fucking deal you can possibly get. So not only are they good people, not only is it a quality product, but like it's the cheapest you're gonna find. Not cheapest, most inexpensive, excuse me. Cost effective.
Okay.
It's the most bang for your buck.
There you go. So again, appreciate 3Chai. They've been here since the very beginning.
Yes.
So got to give them a shout out. Like I said, they do really, really good if you have any needs for Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, etc. So let's hop right in. College football. We told you last week we were talking about KU Jayhawk football, and we said that we were not talking about it strictly because it was local and it's in our backyard. KU # knocking on the door of the AP Top 25. 4-0. They are legit. TJ, you watched that game. What'd you see?
The first thing that I pulled up today to start the podcast was the sports football index for Kansas University. Never thought I'd be doing that. They went back and forth with Duke for a while, and then they pulled away. Duke showed a lot of good things. KU still has some room to grow on the defensive end, but Duke is a quality team, and they were undefeated until they came into Lawrence, and they left Lawrence with an L. So Jalen Daniels is, I don't know where he came from. He is we say this has been like the last 3 weeks. He is just fucking popping off the stage. Like, he is the man. And then we had Daniel Highshaw with what was like a 70-yard run he had.
Over 70 yards.
Just bowling ball through people. That was an exciting game to watch. It was the first game I watched on the Saturday, and that one I had on the big screen. So, yeah, I guess KU football is how I'm waking up right now on my Saturdays. Since EPL and the Scottish Premier League weren't playing since the Queen's dead, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, Jalen Daniels now the real deal. So as far as his performance in that game, he just repeated everything he's done up to this point. He's making the right decisions. When he throws the ball, he's not throwing the ball a ton, but when he throws the ball, he throws an accurate ball.
And don't give him you can't play a fucking zone defense on him and not get pressure. He will pick it apart like he did against Duke. And his wide receivers know, the Grim Reaper knows where to sit down in those zone coverages, and they bit Duke. I mean, it bit Duke to death. He's a smart player and talented. He's the fucking real deal, man.
Yeah, this is sustainable for KU. The points per game is off the charts. You mentioned his one of his go-to receivers, Luke Grimm, the Grim Reaper. I love that name for him. He's leading KU in receptions with 15. He's got Lawrence Arnold right behind him as far as the receptions total at 14. But Grim Reaper, to your point, he sits in those zones. If it's zone, you're getting ate up. Duke was somebody that we expected to bring probably the best challenge so far to KU. Maybe a little bit more talented than what West Virginia brought in week 2.
Especially among the front seven.
Oh, for sure. Yep. So Duke came into that game undefeated, left Lawrence with the L, and we are starting to see who KU is. They can score points. If you look at their drive chart as far as the results of their drives, you're seeing graphics that are showing touchdown, points, and the drives are not 5-play drives. They're 7, 10, 11 play drives. They're going 60, 70, 80 yards driving down the field. So what they've got is sustainable on the offensive side. We mentioned here in the last couple of weeks that KU is platooning some of their running backs. And they still are, but it's becoming a little bit more defined as far as like who's actually going to be running the ball for KU. Still leading the team in rushing attempts is Jalen Daniels with 38, but right behind him, Devin Neal only has one attempt less at 37, and Daniel Hishaw? I don't know.
I don't. Borophyll. Hishaw. We always suck with names. We apologize.
Sorry, Daniel Hishaw.
Danny High.
We'll invite you on the podcast.
We'll just give you a nickname because we don't know your real name.
So the reason we mentioned him, not only because of his exceptional run and that we can't pronounce his last name, which we probably should know up to this point, but he is only 2 carry attempts behind Jalen Daniels with a total of 36. So between those three, they are really just tearing it up on the ground. Average yards per rush continues to be through the roof. He shot 6.4 per rush. Devin Neal at 7 yards per rush. And again, to the point that Jalen Daniels is making the right decisions when he decides to run 8.4 yards per carry.
Those are gashes. When you're getting 7 and 8 yards a clip, those are gashes. It's hard to win football games when your defense is giving up that big of a run. And that sets perfectly into what Leipold is doing on offense. He's using those jet sweeps and those funky motions to widen up the defense and then cut them up inside and cut them up wherever they can. Saw a little guard pulling against Duke too. They can do it. They can do it.
Yep. So unfortunately for KU fans, doesn't get any easier from here scheduling wise. Next game this is a home game, I believe, against Iowa State. Iowa State, this is a curious line for me. I guess I get it to some degree. The last I saw on that line, the Iowa State KU game, was Iowa State favored 2.5 points.
I think that has to do with history. That's the only thing I would see. And we're getting a call by one
What's up?
Jew boy, we are currently recording. What's going on, buddy?
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Belgium?
Yeah, you're on in Belgium, bud.
Wow. I'm happy to be here. Wait, what did you refer to me as?
Jew boy, but we can cut that out with whatever you name what you.
Cut it in post. Cut it in post.
Yeah, we can make it whatever.
Hey, your timing is perfect. We were just running through the buzzsaw that is the KU offense. Feel free to jump right in and give us, as a season ticket holder, tell us what you've seen, what you like, where they are.
Well, as a season ticket holder, the first thing I've noticed about the Kansas Jayhawk program is the absolute third world game day experience put on by our athletic department. And now I know nobody on this podcast wants to hear that, but
Oh, we kind of do.
you do. I had to wade through 3-inch piss puddles
Oh,
to go to the bathroom last weekend. First sellout in 15 years.
they sold it out.
It was sold out. Well, you know how that is. I mean, there were empty seats, but they called it a sellout.
It's a Lawrence sellout.
Thanks. Anyway, I'm very displeased, but we're getting some traction with the AD. He put out a statement. They're going to have people, whatever. I don't know. They're going to have people mopping up the bathrooms. I don't know how you fix plumbing in a week, but for something that size. Anyway, I'm excited about the offense. Number 26 or something like that on Massey ratings. I don't know if you saw that. We're 43 in Sagarin or something. That's as good as we've been in a while.
Those are those crazy scales, those analytic scales that you CPAs use?
You bet your ass.
Do
you think I make so little money gambling?
Do you want to elaborate on Ryan, whatever we're calling you? Would you like to give our listeners your strategy on betting, and maybe this goes into life too?
Into life, okay. So my betting strategy is to shop for a discount. Look for a good price. That's what I always do. I don't give a fuck what team I'm betting on. I bet on who did I bet on? I bet on some Cyprus soccer the other day.
Cyprus soccer.
Don't even know. It's Division II Cyprus. Where the fuck is Cyprus? Off the
So
coast of Greece?
what?
Turkey?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Is that still under British rule?
I don't know.
The
but
Queen's
flag
dead.
is
We don't
cool.
know.
We should check out the flag. If we're gonna we could do some flag rankings. They'd be towards my top quartile. But anyway,
Duh.
it's about looking for a price, and you gotta find. Like, I'm not smart enough to come up with my own modeling or anything like that. I'm not smart enough to do any real math. But go to the books that are square. You got idiots betting at DraftKings. You got idiots betting at Caesar. Can I use names?
You can use names,
absolutely.
Okay, you've got squares betting at all these shitty books that are opening up. In Kansas, for example, you compare those lines to the sharp books. I'm not going to name the sharp books because that's my edge. You go, okay, look, the sharp book is charging a price that implies a 66% probability of victory. The
Hold on.
is paying you out 3 to 1.
Who's
You're
doing
about
the
to gamble
math
that.
on that?
Okay. Huh?
Who's doing the math on the Sharks?
I'm doing the math.
Okay, so you do know a little bit of math.
It's arithmetic, dude.
All right, okay.
So Ryan, are you a fan of Joe Fortenbaugh on the Daily Wager?
I have never heard of that. I don't listen to any podcasts about wagering. I barely listen to your podcast.
That's fair. Okay, fair enough.
Thanks.
But I gotta say, I have caught up on the episodes lately, and I do appreciate the Kansas Jayhawk segment. It's keeping me coming back, and I'm sure it's keeping it, tens, maybe tens of listeners coming back.
In the words of Mayhem from the Allstate Insurance commercial, this is gonna get tens and tens of views.
Hey, I'm happy to drive those viewers, with my gambling insight that is not helpful in any way.
We're like a 16-year-old's TikTok, like.
Oh, Mark Sanchez is on the mic.
Yeah, like
That's
question.
not bad.
Quite.
That's not a bad place to be right now.
I don't even want to fucking ask about where you're going with that, Jew boy.
What? You knew where I was going.
No, I didn't. I think it'd be irresponsible if I said I knew where you're going with that.
Hey, have you guys had Walt on?
No, you are our first call on.
Wow.
Yeah, we.
You guys really shooting for the stars here with your first call in.
Well,
it's fair. I mean, it did come in during the pod, so we had to answer.
And I'm making baked potatoes right now. Can you hear that? I'm sorry if there's background noise.
It's all good.
I-
So what are your thoughts?
Kind of in post, right?
why would we hear baked potatoes cooking?
Well, because I didn't rip a big enough piece of foil to line the pan.
Okay.
So
And now I'm out of foil. God damn it. Look what you guys made me do. How the fuck am I supposed to make these baked potatoes? Just gonna stick to the pan?
That should be the name of our podcast. Look at what you made me do.
Rolls of extra fucking aluminum foil.
hey, Ryan,
Like there's, what's up?
in all of your analytics, why is Iowa State favored against KU?
I'm telling you, I don't judge the teams. I just compare the prices. I don't know. I'd bet on KU to win outright. Honestly, if I could,
For this weekend, you did.
I took Iowa State -3 because there was a good price. Now up to what, 3.5? You know, that's a good price. You got some edge there. But I'm gonna be rooting my ass off for KU.
There you go. So bet with your head, root with your heart.
I mean, yeah, I never bet more than I'm gonna. Yeah, I can't stress out about it. So I'm always willing to lose because I lose a lot.
It's fair.
I hear you on that. I haven't won a real bet for I can't remember how long. It's been many a year.
I got heartbroken last weekend. I'd made some pretty good money with the Ravens destroying the Patriots, and so I got bored and didn't know what to do with it, and I reinvested it with Jimmy G against Denver.
With Jimmy G?
Yep, I did it.
Mistake.
I know.
And Jew boy, how much of our last podcast did you listen to, and did you get to the part about Jimmy G?
No, I didn't get to the part about Jimmy G.
Oh.
I need to study up.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys were going to be doing this. I'd have studied up if I knew I was making an appearance.
Hey, we sometimes don't know we're making an appearance. So you know.
Where's Carlos?
Yeah. See, he was gonna make an appearance. But he is. What was his excuse, Andy, for leaving?
He said something like stupid, like he actually had to work.
He had to work? What does he do?
Sells insurance, allegedly.
Yeah, I could see that. He'd be a good salesman.
Yeah, it's a bilingual market.
No comment.
I'll probably have to cut that.
No, I think that's fair. You can keep that.
Hey, could we get him to translate that? That KU. Did I send you guys that clip of the Tico Sports commentating?
Yes.
On Daniel Hishaw?
Yes.
We need a translation.
It was I'm trying
Can you
to.
play that for your listeners?
Did we save it? I don't. If it is it Andy, is it on our draft?
I don't think so.
I think if I remember right, he was just kind of saying he was going, and he kind of was going crazy. Like, it was kind of...
I know that's 50.
Yeah, he said he's past the 50.
Senores and senoras is... I thought he said women and women, but he had to say men and women. It doesn't make sense otherwise.
Hey, maybe they get down like that.
By the way, this... oh, never mind. I'm not even going to say it. It'd get cut.
So what were you guys about to talk about, and then I interrupted?
No,
you hit us like we were just talking about KU, like fucking no joke.
Timing was great. We were talking about how they're unstoppable on offense, and there's still some questions on D, but I mean, it's Big 12 football. I mean, who's ever carried a good defense in Big 12 football?
Not in 20 years, man.
Yeah.
Not since somebody graduated high school.
Yep.
I haven't graduated high school many years, so I don't know. I don't. It's been yeah, I have no idea last time there was a good Big 12 defense.
So should we keep him on the line? Do we trust our quality of phone and technology, or what do we do?
We're doing good. Do we want to do over unders right now, or boy, how are you doing?
No, I'll let you guys go. I'll do an official call in with some real technology at some point.
All right.
All right.
We
got to cut all this.
Later.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
That was the newest Asscaster. We don't even know what we've officially named him.
Well, I think he was a little hesitant to go by the J-Boy.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we did not start calling him Jew-Boy. It was a high school thing in Mrs. DJ's honors history class, and Jew-Boy was really good at doing the goose walk, and we were trying to explain to another student what the goose walk was, and sure enough, Ryan Kaplan did it perfectly, and he became Jew-Boy. So this is not anything anti-Semitic.
All a compliment. I mean, like Jerry Judy would say. I mean, it's a compliment.
We love the Jews.
So interesting what he brings to. Okay, so he brings to the table Asscaster's multiple things. He, by trade, works with numbers, and by what he does outside of his trade, he works with numbers. he really enjoys the analytics of gambling, and to his point, I mentioned this. We have a group chat that now includes him, and we were talking about gambling strategies, and not to bore you with gambling, but we did say something to the effect when we were talking about some particular bets that make a move like our old man who does not bet. And my old man, he will drive around the entire city to find the cheapest gas. He will waste the money that he would save driving to find that deal. And that is exactly what Ryan / Jew Boy will do with the gambling. And to his point, he doesn't care about the teams. He doesn't care about the game. He's literally going to find his advantage number-wise, and he's going to roll with it.
It could literally be red versus blue, and you could put over-under on it, and he would do the analytics, and he would do everything possible to get to know what the advantage was to betting one over the other. And kind of another caveat to that, we had a fantasy football league which we had to disband because it was so rowdy. Jew Boy, during his, I think he was this was his beginning professional days, maybe. I think this is like around then, when we were all becoming professionals.
Yep.
And he still had a lot of fucking time to burn. So he was making strength of schedules and most likely to win and projected win totals for our fantasy football league. I think we were the only fucking fantasy football league that had fucking projected win totals.
I think we had in that league it was good enough. Didn't we put out a report?
Every fucking Monday. Or no, every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Every fucking Tuesday.
He had an Excel spreadsheet about win probabilities moving forward. I think I even at that point was using a little bit of the media skills to put together some context to different games and upcoming. That was a great league, but it has been Old Yellered, and it deserved to be Old Yellered.
We won't get into why, but maybe later.
No.
So getting back to, should we continue on with college football and transition to Oklahoma losing against Kansas State again?
Yep.
This is the 4th time in the last 5 outings. I believe that was correct. Or again, I could be completely wrong. That's the other name for this podcast. We could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Yeah. But they won. If you listened to our podcast last week, ladies and gentlemen, I told you to bet on K-State against Oklahoma. And if I didn't, because I was on our 3-chai product, I did bet it, and it did hit, and I will brag about it. So it was great to watch.
Yeah, so I have an apology to make. I have an apology to make to Adrian Martinez. I said in last week's podcast, after K-State lost to Tulane as a 14-point favorite, I said that K-State has an Adrian Martinez problem. I take every word of that back after how he shredded Oklahoma. Every word of it.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, he destroyed him. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about that game, and it's same shit with KU and Texas. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it, but
here's the rushing attack for K-State against Oklahoma. So Adrian Martinez, again, my apologies. Most of your damage was done on the ground. 21 carries, 148 on yards. Oh.
No overdraft fees, everyone, with Alex Martinez or Adrian Martinez.
Hold on, we're gonna have to cut that out.
Hang in there, rookie. What's in your wallet?
I'm just gonna do this.
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1. So again, Adrian Martinez, my apologies to you. So your rushing line from that game against Oklahoma, 21 carries, 148 on the ground, 4 touchdowns on the ground, in combination with Deuce Vaughn, who showed up, 25 carries, 116 on the ground for Deuce Vaughn. I will still say, even though that I'm apologizing to Adrian Martinez still has not proven to me in the 18 years that he's played college football that he can throw a ball downfield.
He doesn't need to. I mean, he does.
He could have against Tulane. That would have helped.
He could have, and it's going to be K-State football. It's going to be no passes over 15 yards. That's how, and it's going to be Wildcat offense. That's nothing's going to change.
The frustrating thing, I think, is that, okay, K-State, you did great against Oklahoma. You got the win. For some reason, I'm not focusing on the positive. I'm focusing on the negative. The loss to Tulane happens because you can't throw the ball downfield, Adrian Martinez. So that's frustrating. So when K-State gets into another match against a Baylor, a TCU, somebody that's going to be able to throw the ball quickly, get points on the board, and potentially put them down by more than 10 points on the board, Adrian Martinez cannot throw them out of that game. He can't get them back in.
No, and that's been the case with K-State football for I don't know how long. When they go play bowl games, you have to, as a K-State fan, hope that they stay within 14 points really for the whole game. And if it gets to 21, you're fucked by that point. Because you can't, as a K-State offense, put up points in spurts. It's why they're so good, and it's why they're so bad. Not bad, but it's why it's their Achilles heel. That offense is tough to stop, but it's easy for kids to get to learn. He recruits in-state heavily, so I think it's just the way Kansas State is. They're going to be successful. They're always going to have a winning season. But are they going to win the national title? No. Are they ever going to be considered for a national title? No. The team with Colin Klein, we all know they got to number 1 in the nation. We knew they weren't going to win the national title.
Yeah, I think the Big 12 would take somebody that could get that number 1 ranking again. It's been a long time. Probably, Big 12's frustrating.
It's going to be no more.
Speaking of frustrating, K-State's ranking of 25 in the AP poll, but KU not being ranked, pretty frustrating. Not quite sure how that happens, but if you look at the voting for the AP, KU came in right behind K-State at 26th. So give KU another week. If they win, they're ranked. But KU's schedule beyond Iowa State gets really, really fucking brutal.
Do you have it up?
I do not. Right available to me. So we'll just focus on that later. We'll take a look at KU's schedule a little bit later. Little housekeeping on college football, and then we'll move on to some other things. So we've talked a little bit about is DJ Ungalugalugi from Clemson, is he legit? Clemson in a dogfight with Wake Forest over the weekend, double overtime. Clemson ends up winning that game in double overtime. Clemson's going to have NC State this week, and NC State's good, like really good.
So is Wake Forest, though.
Don't
sell Wake Forest short.
Wake Forest could score some points. They can't beat ranked teams, and they again did not beat a ranked team in Clemson. I am going to go ahead. I haven't even seen the line yet on NC State Clemson. I'm going to bet NC State probably two ways. I'm going to bet them on the spread, and I'm going to bet them straight up on that game against Clemson. I just still, to this point, I don't have the faith in DJ, and Clemson's defense actually looks like it may have
A couple holes.
Yeah, they got some water they're taking on. So there's some issues at Clemson. Other housekeeping that we need to take into account, USC on our futures bets. We told you very, very beginning of the season to bet the USC over on wins at 9.5. They did win in a game that some folks thought was going to be really, really close against Oregon State. That game was close. Oregon State ends up losing to USC. I believe the final score on that was 17-13. If you had the over-under at 70.5, my apologies to you. Colorado gets destroyed again. Pretty much the best, most solidified, most comfortable bet, easiest way to put your head down on the pillow at night bet that we've had. Colorado under 3.5 proves to be awesome again last week, and they go, I believe, against Arizona this week as an 18.5 point dog.
Hey, and Colorado, remember, building a program takes time, so no rush to get rid of your head coach anytime soon. Don't change a thing. Keep everything as it is. Complacency is the key to victory.
Sure. Yep, absolutely. Keep chugging along. And Notre Dame, we said we wouldn't really talk much about them. We did bet the under on their season win total, I believe, at 9.5, and they beat North Carolina last week. Let's move on. So,
Drew,
NFL.
I do want to point Drew Pine looked like a more comfortable passer.
Okay.
But their season's over.
Yeah. NFL. Couple things here. Buffalo loses a close game to Miami. How good is Miami? Jimmy G, after what we've talked about, Jimmy G versus Trey Lance. Man, we may have more apologies.
I don't have any fucking apologies because I told you all. He sucks.
Man.
He is not good. And we saw it on full display. He let the inept Denver Broncos, who don't receive enough oxygen to fucking function properly, he let them beat him. He let Dangerous beat him.
Jimmy G may be the first quarterback in the history of the game who saves his team points by getting a safety. That was unbelievable.
How do you have your quarterback step out of bounds accidentally and you're like, you know what? That was awesome.
Yep.
That saved us.
Do we want we've had a lot of just kind of variables in the air throughout this podcast. Ryan just called in. Should we make the call to Schwammy?
Let's text the old boy and
I won't even bother texting him. I'll just call him.
He said text before.
Yeah.
Hola, senor.
Hey, there he
Hola.
Hi.
Schwammy, you're live on the podcast. Would you like to tell the listeners where you're at, why you're there, and then football thoughts?
Well, I am in, on a resort on the beach. Currently looking at the waves crashing, overweight women, and people stumbling back to after being overseas. An all-inclusive resort.
All-inclusive resort, eh?
Also, there's a steeple walking by. How awesome. Man, I love Europeans.
And they love you.
Oh, yeah, they do, because I'm only a carry-on, not a check bag.
I check you.
Thanks, pal.
So, did you tell us why you're in Puerto Vallarta?
Not Puerto Vallarta, but that's close. Playa del Carmen or Cancun for, you white people.
Mm-hmm.
But
So, Puerto Vallarta?
Beach of the Carmen.
I was down here for my dad's wedding.
Oh.
Third one. So, third time's a charm or not.
And we just want the old Asscasters universe to know your dad is a fucking legend.
I guess. I don't know. He's kind of average.
No, he isn't. He has a fucking moat.
Yeah. I mean, he's around at least.
Hey, and he has doesn't he have a limited edition Rush pinball game?
Yeah, he does. He has a limited edition one. People only can get that if you can afford it and don't, put your kids through college.
What are you trying to say, Schawe?
Males are day traders now, anyway.
That's true, and I think you can actually appreciate trying some pinball, not your kids' major degree.
Hey, man, pinball's the shit.
It is actually it's really cool. Yeah, he does have one of those limited edition Rush pinball machines, and he also has a Metallica machine as well, and a 1978, I think, like old school Gorgar, which is looks like a fucking demonic being as well. It's pretty cool.
I feel like I've dated a Gorgar over time.
Yeah, we were crummies with them last week.
Buddy, have you had a chance to watch your Chiefs yet?
I mean, I saw bits and pieces of it that day, and unfortunately, not good. It's one of those games where everything falls flat. Well, I mean, I got everything. The offense, I think the defense played fairly decent to keep the team to, 20 points for the longest time, and for a team like the Chiefs against a team this year like the Colts, they should have probably put up 40 on those sons of bitches, but it seemed like the offense just wasn't clicking, and obviously Patrick Mahomes is not really happy with some of the play calling that was going their way.
Yeah, Bieniemy and Mahomes seem to have exchanged some words on the sidelines. I haven't seen exactly what transpired or what became of that. Do you have any insight on that conversation, Schawe?
Yeah, I know it happens behind the scenes more than it does in front of people. If you would have out in the open, that disagreements and stuff. But it's not the first time Chiefs fans have heard quote unquote disagreements with the staff and the players, or coaching staff, if you will.
In this particular
the play calling. So you have a guy like Mahomes. It's kind of like, I guess what Andy Reid said the other day. He said something about not releasing him to do his thing. Well, why the fuck not? If you have a fucking Ferrari in the garage, let him fucking drive. You got one of the best players in the NFL. Let him do his thing. You don't want the team like Indianapolis Speedway, for God's sake, to stick around and think they can win. You got to put your foot on the throat and just take him out while you can. It's a cutthroat business, no pardon the pun, but it is what it is, and you don't win a lot of football games if you just let teams hang around.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson said something to that effect on last night's Manning cast about why he used to run up the score in college when he was at Miami and also when he was with the Cowboys. He said something to that very effect.
Well, I think it's more has to do with the coke dealers in Miami than anything else. I think they had the over in one of those games.
Hey, and if you listen to enough 2 Live Crew, you don't need coke.
That's true. Just ask my brother's dad. He fucking loves that. He listens to it all the time before the OU game. God damn, what a fucking crowd that is.
Man, OU fans and Miami fans both enjoying 2 Live Crew.
Hey,
Bonded forever.
hey, Schwammy, what do you think about Sky Moore?
It's kind of hard for a guy like that to, get into rhythm in the offense when he doesn't get a lot of looks. So I heard he got a couple more reps, but didn't do particularly well. Well, no shit, because he's not used on a regular basis. I mean, if you want a guy like that to be more potent in your offense and give him more looks than what you're doing right now, and I know you're trying to give something that's more opportunity, but at the same time, if there's someone better, I mean, you're trying to win football games. You're not trying to make everyone happy. So, if you want Sky Moore to be part of the offense, then use him. It's that simple.
Would you like to take a gander at how many, not catches, but how many attempts, how many balls have been thrown at Sky Moore this year?
This year or last game?
This whole season. Oh, no. Well, let's see if our international caller is calling back. Hello.
Yeah, sorry. The cartel came by.
Well, yeah, we don't want you to get in cartel biz.
No, so you were asking me attempts for Sky Moore.
Attempts for Sky Moore for the entire season.
So I'm gonna say, I'll say 3 games. I'll say 7.
Sky Moore has been thrown at one time and caught it for 30 yards the whole season.
That's fucking stupid. Like, why wouldn't you want to utilize a guy that you were highly touted and highly, about during the off season and in training camp, and then you just push him to the side like he's not anything. It's just silly.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have a lot of personnel issues that I think they try to big brain things instead of just playing to win. Like, they try to think they're smarter than everybody at times instead of just, utilizing their weapons.
Well, Schawe, to your point, wouldn't the move to pick up Mahomes when they did, wouldn't that be kind of one of those moves that was considered Andy Reid thinking and Veach thinking that they're smarter than everyone else?
Well, I mean, sure, but then they started using them. They actually used the player they chose.
Gotcha.
They put him in a role to succeed. With Sky Moore, they're only putting him on, punts, and he's not doing a great job. He's not getting a lot of playing time. So, I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. When they drafted Tyreek Hill, they actually put him in a role to get a lot of touches during games, and obviously you saw where his career's at now.
I think he's doing great right now.
He is doing well.
I love his move. I think Miami looks great on Tyreek Hill.
I mean, that's fine. It's year one. It's only 3 games in, so I'm not saying they haven't, but you got to give it some time, too.
Well, you know what it is.
Tua, obviously, he does.
That's the 2 Live Crew, baby.
2 Live Crew, that's right. That's the guy who fucking leaves Tua on his bench.
So, Schwammy, we won't take too much more of your time, but we'll let you just finish up with any final thoughts you got.
That's good because my divorced girlfriend is on her phone and she's wondering when I'm going to get done with this because we have a reservation. Don't worry, it's not till 9 o'clock. But
Hey, we could invite Beck on, too.
Becca will not be on any podcast. Not willingly.
Aww.
Any final thoughts before you go hit your reservation at McDonald's?
You guys. Any what now?
Any final thoughts before you guys dress up for your reservation at McDonald's?
Final thoughts. Well, I don't know. Speaking of teams that I like losing, I was not happy to see that again. K-State upset OU. Fuck off. Anyway, so my girlfriend is a K-State alum. Go figure.
Yeah.
She cares about football when they play. But kind of the same as always a tough team to play against. And you know what? The Big 12 is running through Kansas this year. What do you guys think?
Man, I love it. I love it.
I don't know about all that.
It's interesting though. I mean, like for once, it's it's not the same old shit between OU and Iowa State. It's KU, K-State. Anyone's ball game. I actually like it.
Yeah, I think Big 12's up in the air. Baylor's probably got something to say about that. But yeah, it's good to not know what's going to happen for the. Well, we definitely know that the playoffs aren't coming. But in the meantime, when they go fight each other for the conference, it will be good to watch. So, Schwammy, we'll let you go. Go have fun on the beach. Tell Becca we said hi and tell her not to spend too much at the restaurant.
All right, guys. Bye. Go Bills.
See you, buddy.
Oh, man. Call in from Asscaster, Schawe, out in some port named Carmen.
Is this what a live radio show's like?
Probably has more listeners. But with that being said, good time to point out real quick, we should be thanking our listeners. We've actually been looking at speaking of analytics, we've been looking at the downloads. Asscaster, you continue to come through and download. It's coming internationally, domestically. TJ, do you want to go through some of that?
Yeah. Today we entered a new market. We have listeners in Los Angeles now.
Nice.
So now we are on. Are we calling Ashburn, Virginia? Is that the coast?
I don't know.
Are we calling that? I don't know.
But
I'm saying we're on both coasts. We're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 countries. Thanks a lot, guys. It means a lot. We're trying to get we're a young podcast. We're like the Mighty Ducks in D2.
Oh, I think we're D1, Mighty Ducks.
Oh.
I don't think we've quite made it to D2.
Yeah, we probably don't even have jerseys yet. But I don't know where that fucking analogy or metaphor was going, but we appreciate it. We really do. It's surprising and it's fun every day. Reach out to us, guys, at our Twitter at Asscasters, and if you want to enjoy our show even more, visit our friends at 3chai.com, which can be found on our Twitter as well.
Yep, so a couple things, Asscasters. Also, we're trying to make this more interactive for you. If you remember some of the fledgling podcasts that we had at the very beginning, we were willing to talk Bulgarian soccer if we needed to, because we had people listening from Bulgaria. So we don't necessarily have to talk about that if we don't want to, but if you got something that you want to speak about, hit us up at Asscasters on Twitter. We're also making some picks of the week available, so just try to have a little fun with things. And we're open to suggestions as well. This is only our 15th podcast, so we're not pretending that we've mastered anything, especially the technology at this point. So, TJ, any additional thoughts before we start jumping right into some more NFL?
I think it was kind of fun, though. I appreciate our guest, our radio guest. That was fun.
Yeah. So
I'd like to play.
We are going to jump right into a quick little game that I have entitled, this is my city boy speaking here. This game is called Is This For Reals? Now,
holy fuck, you just set our podcast back.
So
that 18 to 34 demographic just fucking fled.
So we're going to talk about a team, and we're going to ask the question that's grammatically correct. Is this for reals? First one, right out of the gate. The artist formerly known as the Urban Meyer Jacksonville Jaguars. Are the Jacksonville Jaguars, is this for reals?
Oh, let's see who they've beaten. They have beaten... they beat the Colts, yeah.
They did, yeah. They shut them out, yeah.
Who they beat this weekend?
I don't know. Who they beat?
I don't know. They won this weekend though. It sounds like they are. It's 3 games. I'm going to say... Yes, I think that, yes, they're... I don't know what that means, though. Like, maybe fighting for a wild card? Is that for reals?
Their division apparently not that great. Jacksonville Jaguars are in the same division as the Houston Texans, Tennessee Titans, and maybe the Indianapolis Colts will wake up at some point.
Are they?
So here, looking into what the Jags have done, so they're 2-1. They're not 3-0. They somehow lost to Carson Wentz and the Commanders. That's probably a strike. Then they shut out the Colts. And what do we make of their most recent win? They went to the Chargers and beat, 38-10. They beat up a fairly injured Chargers team. A game that Justin Herbert probably shouldn't have been in.
No, and they have to sit him. Speaking of Ferraris, when your Ferrari has no oil, you don't fucking run.
Garage.
Yeah, you let him chill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the backup is at the Chargers.
It's not Gardner Minshew anymore, is it?
Was he there?
He used to be. He started some games back in the day, but I think he's gone.
With the Chargers, no.
Oh no, I thought you were.
Yeah, we're talking the Chargers still, bro.
Oh my bad.
Sorry. Yeah, that was a rough. I don't know. Maybe I have them fighting for a wild card.
Okay, fair enough.
I think they're better than New England. I think they're better than the Steelers. I think they're better than the Bengals. I think they're better than Indianapolis. I'm just trying to think of wild card teams. I think, yeah, I would say fighting for a wild card spot.
Fair enough. By the way, your backup for Los Angeles Chargers, I believe he's made some of the most money ever as a backup quarterback, the former Mizzou Tiger.
Oh, it's fucking I tweeted about him. The interns tweeted about him. Chase Daniel.
He is your number 2 in command, and I would say if the Chargers are smart this week, they would give him the start.
Can you imagine making all that money doing nothing?
Yeah, it'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
So back to our game. Is this for reals? The Miami Dolphins.
Oh, yes. Oh,
is this for reals?
Oh, fucking yes. Tua is the man. He doesn't even have to throw it a long ways like all you motherfuckers were talking about earlier.
I don't know why you just didn't burp that into the mic.
Because that was a stinky one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that's sticking in the mic. Yeah. No, Miami's for real, and what's not being talked about so much is their defense. Their defense they're playing well, and the offense is. They just killed. They out-Lamar'd Lamar. They out-Lamar'd Lamar.
The Ravens blew that game.
How did they? I'm not questioning, but I'm asking from your perspective. How did they blow the game?
They were up by, I believe, 14 going into the fourth quarter and lost it.
Okay, so how though? Specifically, how did they lose it?
So apparently the coach for Miami, whose name escapes me, but
Mike McDaniels.
Mike
McDaniels.
Mike McDaniels. He looks like a Dragons and Dungeons nerd. Apparently, he's got a play called F It, and that's what he called when they were down 14. And F It is the deep pass to Tyreek Hill. And it worked. Worked well.
I don't know.
And apparently, the Ravens were not in some type of prevent defense to prevent that. Just ridiculous. By the way, I live bet that game pretty late.
Did you?
Yeah, and ended up losing because they blew the lead. That hurt. That was the one Ravens bet I've lost.
Is that why you're bitter? Is that why you're not saying...
No.
I don't feel like you are over it.
Oh,
I think you need to give this win to Tua. That amazing offense. The top 10 maybe top 10 defense. I think you need to give him credit. Give Tua credit.
I'll give him some.
But that team's legit.
Okay.
In your mind, are they?
I'm not sold yet. I probably should be sold, but I'm not sold yet. I'm interested to see. We were just talking previous to the podcast. We were talking about the line for the Bengals Dolphins game, which is next, and I believe it's actually Thursday. Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Bengals are actually favored in that game by 2.5. So apparently Vegas doesn't think they is for reals.
If Jew Boy is sitting on my shoulder right now, he's screaming at me. That is one of the best deals, the best buys, the best values of the whole fucking weekend in any sport.
Okay.
Bet that up.
Obviously, you're taking the Miami part of that.
Yes.
Okay.
What if the
Miami
Bengals
has a good defense, they should murder them.
They will.
If we've learned anything about the Bengals, they can't protect Joe Burrow.
Against anybody. That team is going to go back into the Bungles. It's gonna happen.
Ooh.
Joe Burrow's gonna get hurt.
He might die. Yeah.
Retooled offensive line. That's as bogus as Skyline chili or Skyline spaghetti? The shit they put fucking...
It's not spaghetti.
Skyline chili. But it's on spaghetti, isn't it? Like they just dump chili on spaghetti.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's fucking like... No offense, Cincinnati, but that's gross.
Offense taken. So, are they for reals? Are the Raiders bad? The Raiders are 0-3. Picked up one of the most popular offseason acquisitions in Devontae Adams. And
I think you have to say they are.
have a new coach, which many thought that McDaniels. Josh McDaniels.
Not Mike McDaniels.
Not Mike McDaniels.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels. People thought that he was ready for this second attempt to coach a pro team. And I don't know.
I'm gonna say no. They're especially in that division. Well, fuck, that division's not even looking that good now.
It's probably a conversation that needs to be had at some point about that division. What some thought would be the best division in the history of football, the AFC West, with your leading team being Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett's
Have you seen
Denver Broncos?
I don't know what is. Oh my god, this is so troubling, and I don't know why. There's Daniel Hackett, and there's Russell Wilson on the field, and it's been disgusting to watch. It has been hard to watch. I used to like watching Russ run around the field and cook, quote unquote, but this is hard to watch. This is not. It's rough.
I think I saw a stat, now don't quote me on this, but I think I saw a stat that Russell Wilson only technically has 3 rushing attempts this whole year.
I don't know what's. I don't know. But there's that. There's that whole glump and pot of shit. Then there's another pot of shit. And I don't know if you want to get into this right now, but it's fucking stinky and creepy.
Okay.
Have you seen his Subway commercial?
I've heard it.
Oh my fucking Christ.
He's just weird.
You gotta know, like, you've gotta have some self-awareness. Come on, like, it's pedophile-ish. That's gross.
Now, one thing that I'll point out, I believe the name of his new sandwich is the Danger Witch, but I think other people pointed out that if your name's Russell Wilson, shouldn't it be called the Danger Russ, right? Shouldn't it be? I mean, be better than Danger Witch.
Why? I don't know. And Subway sucks. That's a poor sandwich. I don't know. Anyway, getting back to football. they're fucking garbage. They need a new head coach for sure, and Russell Wilson will just, I don't know, he needs his head checked. I don't know. The Chargers, they have to sit Mr. Herbert, Guy Bear.
Yep, Joey Bosa just went on IR.
For his groin. Keenan Allen's out. They have a whole laundry list of players that are hurt. That team is last year's Baltimore Ravens.
The question being, is this for reals? Are the Chargers bad?
You have to say they are right now because they're so banged up. I think that's the only I mean, if you have to play with Chase Daniels, not Charlie, and no Keenan Allen, no Joey Bosa, Manti Te'o's not there anymore. You're bad. You're bad. You're bad because of injuries.
So you're saying it's for reals that they're bad?
I'm gonna keep it 100, and they are bad.
Hey, speaking of things that can, let's just jump right into lines for next week. That was a great episode of Is This For Reals? Thanks for playing along.
Whoa. We got 2 more, scrub.
Oh, I was going to just skip it.
Oh, we need to talk about them, though.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, Asscasters worldwide, the 2 that he wanted to skip are the Cowboys. Are they good, Andy? Are they good?
Man.
You wrote this. You put this down.
I did. Their defense is really good.
And they're getting healthy.
Yeah. Apparently Dak Prescott's talking about coming back as early
He shouldn't.
So, but even if Cooper Rush, the undefeated 3-0 Cooper Rush, even if they have to put him out there for another week or 2, it appears they can keep their head above water. So Micah Parsons, I have not followed my own advice. I'm gonna put a bet in for him for Defensive Player of the Year. It's just it's gonna happen now. I'm just putting it in. I don't care.
You know how Schawe and we say that Cale McCarr, Nathan McKinnon, and McJesus are like they need their own league.
Mm-hmm.
He needs his own league.
Mm-hmm.
He needs his own league right now.
And then Diggs apparently is still incredible. He's been doing really, really good for them. And just the combination of those 2, they have so many things. I mean, they literally, with Parsons, they can line him up pretty much anywhere the fuck they want.
They lined him up to tackle a few times on Sunday.
Yep. And it's just so confusing from the offensive standpoint to A, identify where he's at, B, identify what he's going to do, and 3, identify what they do once they try to figure out what they're going to do with him. Because if he sits back and they bring like pressure from other people that aren't him, and you don't account for those other people, you're fucked again.
And DeMarcus Lawrence is also on that line.
Yeah, fair.
And Van Der Esch is back. That's a scary fucking defense.
So defense is good there. I just really, really would like to see what I want to see what they look like after a couple of weeks of Dak being back. You tell me, you've told me that there are other options other than compact disc Lamb. You've told me that the tight end has kind of been like a little Gronk safety net for Dak, but
he's been hurt. He was hurt this week.
Right. So, do they have enough? Okay, here's the real question. I don't think that the Cowboys are good enough to win their division now that the Eagles are pretty damn good.
Holy fuck!
What do you think?
Right now with Dak hurt, I think it's the Eagles' division to win. However, I do not want to play. God damn, this Kool-Aid's got me burping. I do not want to play if I'm the 1 or the 2 or the 3 seed. I do not want to play a Dallas Cowboys team that's getting healthy and hot come playoff time. That's a scary team.
Especially in the NFC where, God,
Who's the favorite?
Man, I don't know.
It's got to be the Eagles right now.
I don't know if I'm totally sold on that.
I'm not, but who else are you going to be sold on?
Oh, so the only other team that I'd throw in consideration for that, and you might laugh at me, but I think the LA Rams are still worth consideration. Stafford had one awful game out of the gate, but since then has looked better, and he's got plenty of weapons, more than he knows what to do with, and that division that they're in is not looking too terribly good.
I don't see it. They don't have a run game. Remember, they used to be able to rely when Jared Goff or Stafford was having a shitty game. They used to be able to rely on that run game, and they had Hutchinson at center, and they could just strap on their hats and go right up the middle. Mm-hmm. And they always had that as a backup. They don't have that anymore.
Doesn't appear.
Cam Akers, I have not heard from him. He has not called into the show. He has not called in on any week.
Feel free to call in, Cam Akers.
Yeah, Cam. And then I don't even know who's splitting time with Cam Akers because they run the ball so seldom. And not Goff, but Stafford's arm did not look good week 1. I haven't watched him since.
I've watched since. He looks better.
But how does that get better? Like,
well, the concern was that he had a dead arm. But I think at the end of the day, what was happening is that 2 things. He didn't have chemistry with his new receivers. 1, because the only person he threw, like, when he threw it to Kupp, everything was fine. On a rope, went to him, accurate, timing was good. When it wasn't to Kupp, it was awful. And then the other thing is that we were just learning back at that time that he had truly had Tommy John surgery on that elbow, and we're a couple weeks further away from that.
But that's the concern. Like, that's the ultimate concern, is that Tommy John.
Like I said, it was the concern. I don't know. It doesn't look like the balls are as bad as they were week 1. And they played a good team week 1. They played a Bills team that was healthy.
And Von Miller created a whole different kind of beast with that defense.
Yeah.
I don't know. The next one you had on there to wrap up is the Pats. I think they're bad.
They are bad.
They're bad.
They're bad.
I think the only text message I heard from you the whole weekend was about how shitty the Patriots were, and you said, I think we need to talk to Carlos about this. So isn't it interesting? New England has a bad week. Jimmy Garoppolo has a mortifying week.
And Carlos is working.
And OU loses to Kansas State, and he is...
So, Carlos, you bailed on us.
I bet we... Yeah,
we know what he's... Work, he says.
Fucking bullshit.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, they're not good.
No,
they're not good. Moving forward, what do we got, Andrew?
So let's take a look at a couple of lines for your upcoming week in the NFL. There again, from the NCAA side of things, not to go all the way back to college football. There's some okay games. That NC State Clemson game is going to be something worth watching, but other than that, not a ton on the table. However, for NFL, there's some pretty good stuff. Now, starting Thursday night, a team that we've talked a lot about already. Explain this to me. In the time we've done this podcast, this line has moved. Miami on the road against Cincinnati. The line has now moved to a 4-point line to Miami. Thoughts?
+4 to Miami?
I am looking at it right now.
Oh my goodness. Asscasters, go win this bet and take your girl out on a nice date. That's my advice to you for this weekend. Bet on Miami. You're getting 4 points right now. You know what? I would even wait, since fucking Vegas is being so weird right now. I would even wait, and that you might get 5 points by kickoff tomorrow.
Might I be able to entice you with a money line at +164?
Okay, one more time. -164? Or what was it? I'm sorry.
So, might I be able to entice you with a money line for Miami plus 164?
Oh my God.
At Cincinnati. So it has nothing to do with like locations for Hurricane Ian.
Two things. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay. So they won't have enough streaming power and we won't watch it.
Well, that's part of it. Two, we've been living in the fucking simulation lately.
Agreed.
So, seriously, Asscasters, go bet both sides of that Miami bet, and then go take out your family for a nice steak dinner, or your old lady for a nice steak dinner, or if she doesn't eat steak, some sushi or something.
I think I'm going to bet both sides of that. I think I'm going to bet the line. I think I'm going to bet the spread at +4, and I think I'm going to do straight up. I like both of them.
And if I'm going to pimp this company out, even though they never show us love, if you are a member of FanDuel, you should be able to have a in-game parlay on that.
I think so. As long as you don't prop bet, I think you can do that.
So, FanDuel, I just pimped you out. There you
go. You ready for another suspicious line?
Let's hear it.
The New Orleans Saints have a quarterback that still has 4 breaks in his back. And those New Orleans Saints are only a 2.5-point dog against Minnesota.
I'm taking Minnesota.
You gonna take them? Taking that spread?
2?
2.5.
Yeah. That's another one. Put Taysom Hill in.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting your quarterback hurt, and he's playing like shit. How do you expect your quarterback to throw well when he's got 4 broken fucking vertebrae?
Yep.
Are you serious? And I've been checking the Twitters. The hate for Jameis Winston, I know he was immature when he first got in the league and when he was at Florida State. But the man has 4 broken vertebrae. Give him a break. For fuck's sake. For fuck's sake.
Another curious line. This one doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You tell me if I'm out of bounds here. The Arizona Cardinals, who at times look like they're okay, not necessarily too terribly consistent, are going up against I believe the league's worst QBR in Carolina.
And Baker Mayfield.
So Carolina, a 1.5-point favorite at home against Arizona. Curiouser.
Yep, I'm going Arizona. Maybe not. I mean, God, yeah, Arizona's been flaky, but they haven't been as shitty flaky as Carolina.
Over under on that game's 42.5. I think I'll probably take the over on that.
Do you think Carolina's going to do their part?
I'm not sure. I feel like Carolina can't continue to be as bad.
Carolina.
I feel like they can't be as bad as they've been, but I still don't really see them winning that game.
I don't. That's Arizona.
And here's another goodie. I've already bet on this one, and its line continues to move in a direction I don't really understand. Green Bay Packers at home against the New England Patriots, who are going to be starting, is it Brock Heward at quarterback?
No, was it Brock Hoyer? No, Blake Hoyer. Brian Hoyer. Yeah, Brian Hoyer.
So
he lives in, he's just a native of the New England states.
I bet that game at 10.5 for Green Bay, and I felt fine. And now it's moved down to 9.5.
I wouldn't touch that. Green Bay doesn't have anyone to throw to, or Rodgers doesn't.
Yeah, but New England doesn't have a quarterback, and even if they did,
they're gonna
they
run.
Don't have
they have running. They have running backs though, and they have a good offensive line. That's gonna be a fucking played out, long ass, fucking boring game.
Oh, so okay, so over under on that 39.5.
I don't know if it's gonna be that boring. That's pretty boring.
I'm going to call this this will be this will be our final prediction of the week. This one might be the most curious line that we've run up to yet. Sunday night, Jimmy G, the safety getter, is at home.
Monday night.
No, sir. Oh, are you sure?
Sunday night's Kansas City and Tampa, and that's being moved.
No,
that's not being moved.
Well, apparently we don't know what time this game on.
Unless I got an old. Yeah, I've got LA versus San Francisco Monday night, October 3rd.
Okay, that's fine. If that's the case, that's the last game. So, San Francisco at home with Jimmy G, who just lost to Danger Witch. He's getting... he's a 1.5 point favorite against the Rams.
Take the Rams.
I don't know where that line comes from.
Let's go. It's the fucking Matrix, man. We are fucking living in the simulation.
I completely am lost on that game. I have no idea. Like, if you would have told me to create the line for the LA Rams versus Jimmy G, I probably would have said, like, 4 to 5 points.
3.5, I would say.
At least.
Yeah, 3.5.
At least. Crazy.
That's...
So I have not bet that one yet, but I will bet that one.
Guys, we're living in a simulation right now. So take advantage of it. Take wholesale advantage of it. We are living in trying and weird fucking times. An example of this, to jump to things that are more obscure and will not make you money. The coach of the Vancouver Canucks, Bruce Boudreau, he is, and I've tweeted, or not I, the Asscasters have tweeted this out, but he was ranked by his colleagues the 17th best looking head coach in the NHL, and Bruce Boudreau, he is fatter and older and kind of bald, but he is a lovable man. He looks like a teddy bear. He was
without hair.
Yeah, he was ranked number 17. They asked him, they were like, "Hey, Bruce, do you know who do you think's on top?" And he goes, "Well, I think I know who's on top." And then they told him, they were like, "Hey, Bruce, are you surprised you're at 17?" And then he accused the voters of being blind. So that was a very cute story. I hope, you might have abandoned the Vancouver Canucks, Andy. They're starting to, get a little soft spot in my heart.
They're definitely my side chick.
Well, it's, but yeah, a little bit more hockey news. I watched the New Jersey Devils last night. I know we have no listeners in New Jersey, but Jack Hughes looked great. Your boy Andre Palat had an assist, I believe. So yeah, they look good. Montreal, Cole Caulfield had a good.
Gaming website that came out with a poll this morning ranking the most handsome coaches in the National Hockey League.
Oh my God, I don't want to be in that poll.
Hey, I got good news for you. You're 16th overall, and out of a ranking out of 10, you scored I think it's 8.0.
There must have been an awful lot of blind people doing that.
Care to bet who they rank as the most handsome and the most ugliest?
Well, no, I'm not going to say. I know who it is, but I'm not saying.
They ranked Jay Woodcroft as the most handsome, and the ugliest was Peter Laviolette.
Oh, not who I thought. But...
Bruce.
So there were Bruce's thoughts on the most handsome coaches in the NHL. What a lovable guy.
Do you have any other thoughts hockey-wise, and then we'll get this one wrapped up?
Man, hockey-wise, not really. We did go to the first NHL game in Wichita over the weekend. Andy, how was your experience?
So that's only, don't lean on me, Asscasters, for hockey advice, nor will I give you any. But that was only the second professional hockey game I've ever seen live. Man, those guys, compared to what we see for the minor league hockey team here locally, the Wichita Thunder, it took me about 2 seconds to say, holy fuck. The speed's completely different. The knowledge of what to do with the puck is totally different. Just a totally different ball game than minor league hockey. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. They pulled a really good crowd. 8,400 were in attendance. Comparatively, watching the game last night in last night in Montreal, and then they played. I watched 2 Devils games. There was one in Newark, and there was one in Montreal. There were more people for sure at the Wichita game than there were at the Montreal and Newark game. I thought that was pretty cool. We have a growing hockey community in Wichita.
We got a pretty good hockey community.
We really do. There's a lot of Edmonton Oilers blood in the waters of Wichita. My first head coach, he played for Edmonton. So, there is a lot of hockey blood and Edmonton blood in Wichita.
By the way, speaking of the Edmonton Oilers, Monday Night Raw was just most recently in Edmonton, and a guy hit the Miz over the back with a hockey stick, dressed fully in Edmonton Oilers garb, in front of some of the statues at Edmonton. It was awesome.
It was WWE or AEW? Because I know you get.
It was WWE.
Okay, you're still keeping up with the WWE?
Since Triple H has got creative rights now, as opposed to the retired in shame Vince McMahon, Triple H has been better. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Better product.
Okay. So, should I check in on Monday nights?
No.
Okay.
No. AEW better.
Okay.
Which I gotta go watch.
Oh, yeah. Do you have anything to wrap up?
I do. So I'm not totally sold on a lot of things in NFL. Like, I don't know what to make of a lot that we're seeing. Consider me, and this is somebody that's actually got a ticket. I have got a bet for the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC East, but I'm not sure if they're quite Super Bowl good. I think that they're playoff good. There's still a lot for me to say you need to show me with Philadelphia. And there's some other teams in there that I still don't know how good or bad they are. But one thing I do know is that the first legal sports bet that I ever made in Kansas was for the Baltimore Ravens to win over 10.5 games. Shame on you, FanDuel, for making it 10.5 rather than 9.5, which every other book I looked at was. But I made the bet anyway. Fair enough. Top 5 quarterbacks in fantasy football. Listen to this. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and coming in at number 5, Lamar Jackson without his rushing statistics. So, what I do know about the Baltimore Ravens is that they're really good. And they are just now getting help. Like, they still are getting J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards back. So they're getting to the point where they're really going to start to get good. A contract year for Lamar Jackson and all the weapons he could ever want.
How much is dude going to get paid?
He's going to remake the market. The Baltimore Ravens should pay that man now. I don't care if Lamar Jackson. I don't care if Lamar Jackson.
If you're Lamar Jackson, why do you take it now?
I'm totally with you. But if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I'm ponying up ASAP.
They should have during the offseason.
He's redefining the market as we speak. So what I'm going to get at the end of the day is my final thought for you. What I don't know a lot of with NFL football, I do know this. Baltimore is fucking good. And I'm going to continue to bet them game by game.
I don't remember. I think because I don't know. I'm still not sold. My team right now in the AFC is still Buffalo, and Chiefs. I think are my stronger playoff team.
You called them a week ago to win the Super Bowl.
No, that's why the Chiefs are in the playoffs, because playoffs are a different beast than regular season. So they're still my playoff team. And then I think the most talented team though is Buffalo.
Could be.
But we got a lot going forward. We we remembered this week to put our over-unders in, so we have that going for us. I really don't have anything else for the Asscasters.
Fair enough. Well, Asscasters, we appreciate you guys listening in. Hope you enjoyed this episode where we had some kind of on-the-fly contributions from Ryan/Jewboy. We'll check in with him so he can give you an update on the plumbing at Memorial Stadium, and then we will also. Good God. And then we'll check in with Schwammy. He should be back in next week as far as we know. Dirty Carl, depending on the performance of Jimmy G, Oklahoma, and everything else Patriots related. We may or may not see him next week. But the stalwart TJ will be here. I will be here. We appreciate everyone listening. And please, again, visit 3chai.com if you can. You guys have a great week. It's going to be some more great football. We will talk to you later.